So this video will discuss the for command, similar to the if command that was covered in the last video. If we look at our basic program, and this program again is based off of the your basic LED blinking program. I've named my LED pin. I've delayed the blink by a delay period of 250 milliseconds. Got my standard setup. If you see in my loop, I've delayed it. I've turned the light on, delay it by 250 milliseconds, turn the light off, delay it, etc. And then I keep repeating this 20 times over. See all of that code. And then after 20 times of repeating it, I put in a delay of 3,000 milliseconds. So I want the light to blink 20 times and then delay for 3 seconds or 3,000 milliseconds. This is not an efficient way to write my code though, and I can use a for command in order to make this a much more efficient bit of code. Let me just pull that up. So if I compare the two, you can see I can fit this whole program on one screen versus this one that I have to keep scrolling down. There's a lot to it. There, type const there. But they're doing the same exact thing. This small bit of code and this large bit of code perform the exact same function. The difference is that instead of typing out these 4 lines of code 20 times and have it loop around 20 times before the 3,000 millisecond delay, I simply used a for command inside of my loop to make it do all that work for me. So inside of the for command, I put parentheses and made a new variable I'm calling I, which just stands for integer or number. It's a standard sort of number placeholder in Arduino programming. So I'm going to say, I'm going to start I at 0, and I want I to count all the way up until it becomes until it's at 20. So essentially what we're saying is that for this variable I, which I'm starting at 0, as long as it's less than 20, I++. And in this case, I++ means increase the value of my integer by 1. So essentially every time this program is executed, the I will increase by 1, and as long as I is less than 20, this program, these 4 lines, will keep executing. But when I becomes 20, at that point it is not less than 20. So when it becomes 20, we then break out of our for command here and we delay for 3,000 seconds. And then because it's an Arduino program and we have this big loop that just sort of happens, after it delays for 3,000 milliseconds, I'm sorry, I think I said seconds a minute ago, 3,000 milliseconds or 3 seconds, it will repeat everything all over again. So it will go back into the for command, do these 4 lines, add 1 to my integer I. It's less than 20, so it's going to run this again and run this again, and it will continue to run this program over and over again until it gets to 20. And it's a great way of simplifying my code and making it much more efficient. Notice that the for command, these are called arguments inside of the parentheses. Its arguments have semicolons between them instead of our normal commas like we're used to doing inside of parentheses. So just keep that in mind if you use the for command in your Arduino code.